Hello everybody on this great early morning. It's like 1:30 a.m. for me. But I've had a few people ask me to do a tutorial on making a rug. I guess I've done them for so many years. It was natural for me to think that most people knew how to do them by hand. And I've received a few requests asking me how to do them, because I know there's a lot of us like me. My hands hurt if I do too much hand working. Well, that's why I like doing the rugs. There's numerous ways you can do them. You can use a sewing machine to put them together, or not sew them at all. And I use them multiple ways, but I'm going to show you, and hopefully everybody can understand the simplest way I know how to make the rugs. They can be as fancy, or as you can actually use one color fabric, and these are made with fabric. These particular ones I'm showing you are made with fabric. Now when I use my weaving looms, I still use fabric, but I use more of a combination of different fabrics, from flannel to fleece to fuzzy fabric to I even have a couple of rugs that have fake fur in them. And no, I don't cut the fur off. They're just kind of weaved in there. And no, I don't like playing with fake fur. It makes a mess. So I'm going to switch the view for my camera, and hopefully everybody can see. I'll try going as slow as possible. So let me switch my camera. Okay, here's the one I've been doing. I didn't do any more on it because I wanted to show you before it got too big. But this is it's a little bigger this time. It's about the size of my hand. At this point, if you wanted to, you could use it for multiple things. These, the way I do them, you don't have to do them as actual rugs. You could make the size, like as an example, this mat is 12 by 18, which is the exact is a good size to put like under a sewing machine. It creates a cushion because there's a multitude of different applications you could use on this, but I'm going to take you from start, how I start these. So I'm going to pull this one over here, and the clips are used because I don't want to, so that I can have 3, 4, 1, and 2, so I don't lose track of those. You could actually put a little pin on them or something, but then you have to keep moving the pins. So this was my way when I stopped of making sure that I had the 4 pieces. And this braiding is done with 4 and not just 3, because I like how it looks. See, with 4 it's a braid, but it has a little different look to it. And yes, the strings remain because that's how I want it. I want it looking like kind of like a rag quilt that we do. Some people do, but I want it looking like raggedy type, like old. And then when you put this in the washing machine, because none of these are hemmed, it creates more of the scrunchy looking stuff. So let me put this over here. And I pre-cut, I just made strips. Okay, these strips, as you can see, they range, I don't know if the focus seems off. Hold on. I don't know if it's just, oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, the focus was a little off. I'm like, why is that focus funny? Sometimes I can't tell because my eyes are funny sometimes, so I can't always tell if something is in focus or not. Let me switch the sides of this one. There we go. Okay, see, and as you could tell, there's no specific size. The biggest is that I have here is 1.5 inches, and that's almost too big, but that's okay. And as you can see, this one still contains a selvage. It's a way that you can just cut, like most people will cut those selvages off. This is what you could do with those selvages. It's just a way of, I guess, recycling and upusing all forms of fabric. And like this one has a cut in it, and it's got the little stringies, and it's just fabric. The first thing is you need to select 4. They could all be the same color. I just selected these 4 because it's what I had, and it was just this green one was actually part of a leftover binding I had from a quilt, and I cut it apart. That's where it's from. But you could use any type of fabric you want. Flannel works good. Fleece works, but you have to remember with fleece it does stretch. And let me show you a piece of fleece. Yeah. See if I have a piece. Like, see, fleece, it is more stretchy. The only way this is stretchy is if you cut it on the bias. Or, you know, I try not to cut things on the bias so they're stiff. But fleece is stretchy, and when you stretch it, it curls. And fleece is stretchy no matter which way it goes. One way is really stretchy. So when you're doing this kind of stuff, I don't recommend fleece, but you can use fleece. It's not going to hurt anything. It doesn't hurt anything. You could still use it. You just have to be aware and not pull it real tight, because it will stretch more than say cottons as an example. The same with t-shirts. You can do this with t-shirts by cutting it in strips. And again, I make rugs from this way. I put them on looms. Some looms I've made, some looms are manufactured looms. I prefer my wood looms, as one of the other videos showed you. I'm not going to go get it because that thing is so heavy. And when I made it the size, and in some of the videos, if you look on the carpet where the dogs are going back and forth, that big old piece that's on the floor, that's one of the ones that came off my wood loom. So it is a large rug, kind of, sort of. These ones, those, when you use them on a loom, your size is dictated by your loom, and to make them bigger you have to make multiples of them and then actually sew them together, however you do it. With this one, you just keep going, and you could do it for years. For those that remember, I mean, this is how most people used to do their rugs. You see braided rugs in their living room or under their table, or under their tables, or other things like that. It's just one of those things that most people had in their houses. So anyway, you have your 4 strips. Okay, first thing I'll show you is when you have, say you just had a little piece like this, like you can see these are tied together. Say you had a tiny piece. Let me get another strip. Okay, actually, you know what, I'm gonna cut this. Okay, here's our tiny strip. And whether you add a second color to it, a different color. So let's have, okay, cool, this works. Here's a little, let me get that thing cut off of this. No, you don't have to cut it. I could have pulled it and put it in the scrap bucket. Okay, And no, see, this is one thing you don't have to worry about these being straight. It's not going to hurt anything if they're crooked. See, this is so forgiving. That one's already got one. But when you want to, there's a multitude of ways you can actually tie it, tie it in a knot. However, when you do that, it has a chance of coming out. The easiest thing to do when you want to put two together, whether they're the same color, different color, is like I just take these two. You could do them one at a time, or you could do them together, and then I'll just kind of fold the end about, I don't know, 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and then just take my scissors, and you're just making a kind of a slash about the size of your little finger, just so your finger can go through that hole. See, my nails through the hole. See, and then what you're going to do, like this one, I'm going to fold because it's a little wider. Go up underneath, one or the other, doesn't matter. You're going to push that fabric through that hole. Okay, it's through the hole. Everybody see it's through the hole. You take the other end of the one you push through the hole, and then you, like in this case, I'm going to fold it in half, and then you put it through the hole. Remember, it's the one you put through the little hole you made. You put it through that hole again. So you've got kind of a loop, and then you just kind of pull it. You'll slide it, pull it. There you go. And it's makes it tied together, and it's not going to come apart. Now, I mean, if you wanted to, if you're like super strong and wanted to pull it apart, I imagine I guess I'm weakening, but it makes a strong knot. It's fairly flat. It's not. Here's my rug. And if you look at this, you can't. You could see where the knots are where they came together, because you can feel them on your feet, but they're not necessarily noticeable. And that's I guess that's why I liked these type of rugs, because you can use them as they itch your feet. On the back side though, you can see them a little more. Like here's one here, but I did splice colors together instead of using the same colors, because I wanted no specific design. I mean, you can do this to where you can actually make it looking like a snail shell, to where it's same color, and the design is up to you. Me, I just want, as anybody that's watched my videos knows, I like the scrappier the better. I got string all over me. I don't know why. Okay, now I'm hoping you understand how you tie the pieces together like here. So we have four strips. And let me get these strips all put out here like this. Okay. Now, what you need to do is, if you want your strips to have the colors, the right side out, just kind of put them all like this, so you can see that they're all right side out. Okay, and kind of stack them together. Now, you need to attach these 4 pieces together. You can attach them by creating a knot, which means you're going to you just create a knot. I just wrap my fingers around to where I got a hole, and then pull it through the hole, and then you pull it tight. That is not my preference, because it creates a big bulk, and I think that too much fabric is lost that way. The other thing you can do is you can hand stitch it together, or another thing you could do, and this does require sewing, you could just run a small stitch I usually just do a zigzag across there. All you're doing is holding these pieces together because you need them stuck together. So it's a preference on how you want to do this, and I'm just gonna zigzag the end real quick together. And that's simple. Like I said, you can either hand sew it or tie it together, and that's all you're after. You just want this stuck together. Okay. From here, you need to figure out some way of holding this piece down. You don't need anything real heavy. Your scissors will work. Anything works. If you got a clip, like these little, most all of us have these little plastic, or the bigger ones, like I'm using my bigger one up there. That works. Or what I found works also. Make sure your needle is up on your machine. Put your presser foot up and just set the presser foot down. Then it's held in place because you're not pulling real hard on this. Okay, and like that. But because I need this over here so you can see how, and I'm going to separate these four so you can see that they're separated. But because I need you to see, yeah, see, I was playing with fuzz, so I got fuzz from some fake fur I was playing with. What I'm going to do, like this, and this is just my box that I hold all my stuff in. It's just a box that has everything in it. And I'm just going to set it on there. This has got just everything organized and different. Oh, I gotta put my pins back in there. Okay. Now, we got just the end under it. That's all you need. You just need something so that, because you're going to pull a little bit, so you don't want it. I mean, you could even tape it down. Just some way to hold it. Okay, so separate so you have 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't mean to make that sound like people can't count. That's just, sometimes I've done this and I'm like, wait a minute, I only have 3. Or I did it one day and I wasn't paying attention. I ended up 5 strands and I'm like, oh my gosh. And like this piece is backwards. So you can just kind of turn it over. Again, a rug like this, it doesn't really matter. So you could turn it over or just leave it alone, see? Okay, so what you're going to do, you have these 4 strands. You have the top, and if you don't want to, you could actually don't have to attach that top. You could just put something on it heavy. But the issue then becomes when you release that, it has a tendency to undo itself. So all the work you did will undo it. That's why you need to attach it with something. And you could actually attach it on a ring. Like I have rings that I use to make keychain fobs with. I have the rings. You could attach it to a ring and it's good to go. Then you can hang it on something. Okay, so how you braid 4 strands is different than braiding 3 strands. Kind of the same but different. You take the one on the far left side. Okay, you're going to put that one underneath this one. So now those 2 switch places. Then the one you had as number 3, you take this one and put it over that one. Okay, so you've gone under and over, and then the 4th one here, you're going to go back under. So now this is where you kind of pull it a little bit tight, and it came underneath mine. That's why I usually just use a sewing machine. but for this purpose I needed you to be able to see. So now you still have 4 strands. Okay, you're going to do the same one with this blue. You're going to go under, over the third one, and or over the third one and under the fourth one. And how I used to, when I was teaching this, I would tell people under, over, and up through. That's a old what do you call that, when I used to use cord to make plant hangers, and I just said over, under, and up through, and that's just the way I've always remembered it. So you go under, over, and up through. That's how it goes. Now when you get this far, see how loose it is? We just need to kind of keep your strands apart, but you want to kind of make them tight. And see, your braid starts forming. Okay, so again, the far one, you're going to go, just move this one over here because it's the fourth one. You're the third, even though you got, so you got the same thing. And you go under, over the third, and up through on the fourth one. So you go under, over, and up through. So, and that's just how you do it. Under, over, and up through. And you just pull in this guy here. I highly, highly recommend you not make your strings, whatever you want to call these, don't make them extremely long, because what happens, like this one, I made really long because I wanted to show you, because then you run the risk of it getting tangled. So you can also hold, and this one is hard on your hands, but you can do it this way, and you just go over, under, and up through, and you just pull it, and you're just, oh, come on, stay under there. And so you're kind of just holding it. You're not really pulling tight, but you're going to go over, under, or under, over, and up through. Yeah, these are sometimes hard to do in slow. So let me get a few of these done so I can show you. This will be in like fast speed, so I can get a little bit of length, but you can watch me do it. And we're just going to go over, under, over, and up through. That's a macrame term, if anybody's ever done macrame. I used to do lots of macrame. I love doing macrame, but it's hard on the hands. And again, this is, if you hold it like this, it will start hurting your hands. That's why I was showing you, it's not necessary that you have to hold it, i.e. you can just put it down so you're not, and you can do the same thing. So you're just going to go under, under, over, and up through, and you're not, and this way you just kind of have to hold those straight and kind of pull that one tight. But yeah, just if your hands have a tendency to hurt, don't, be careful how you do this, because it will hurt your hands. Yeah, my hands are, just this little bit that I'm doing, my hands have gone a little bit numb, so, but I just wanted to get a long length so I can show you. Come on, you could do this, yeah, talking to myself. Wait a minute, we make videos, we are talking to ourselves. and that's funny if you think about it. You're making a video, but you're actually talking to yourself. And let's get this. That just seems funny to me. You're talking to yourself, watching yourself on a video. My little numbers there, what I was doing before. And I hope everybody is enjoying their nice heat. It's still warm here in Arizona. It's humid right now. It's like, ugh. So it's you know, it's still in the triple digits, but the humidity's high, and so it makes it a little, yeah, it's hard to breathe when it's that humidity's high and the temperatures are high. We're supposed to be getting some rainstorms in, which it doesn't really cool the air off. In fact, it makes it more humid, and it's like, oh. But okay, let's do a couple more on this, and then I can show you the different ways you can attach it with sewing it or hand sewing it. Okay, I think. Okay, now this is where I said that the clips come in handy. See, you got 4. So let me see, I'm going to make sure that I don't lose track. I keep 3 and 4 on the outside, and I just clip them so that they stay. And then the first 2, same thing, so that I know where it starts and where it ends. Okay, let's put this bucket. This bucket's quite heavy. Ugh, good grief. I like that little bucket though, it's kind of cool. Okay, so we have our braid, as you can see, and you could tell that this is the front. You can see how it looks, and this is the back. And the thing about it is, this braiding technique you could actually use to braid someone's hair with, and you'll have the same look. Okay, so here's the end we started with, and based on how you want your rug, if you want your rug, now you're going to, if you want your rug round, remember we want to keep this flat like this. You don't want to turn it. I mean, unless that's what you want to do your rug, that's fine. If that's what you want to do, then that's fine. Me, I want them flat, and you just kind of hold on to it, and I may not have it quite long enough, but that's okay. You'll get the idea. Okay, and this is what you're going to do. Okay. You're just going in a circle. See, you're just going around in a circle. My circle's not quite, because I'm not, okay. See, you just go in a circle. If you want it to be oblong, like you wanted it not round, you wanted it more square, what you would do then is you would do something like that, and then you're gonna go around. Does that make sense? Or if you wanted it to actually be a square, okay, you're gonna make, it's harder to make an actual square because you do it by going here and then changing the position of the fabric as you go. To attach the fabric together, you have several options. When you sew this first one, when you bring this first piece around, you're going to cover up that end. Okay? So it, oh, I hope I'm not in the way. So it looks like this. You have the option of putting it under your domestic machine and tacking it. You can hand sew it, or put a clip on it, like this, just to hold it in place, okay, until you can go around some more. But the easiest thing to do is, so you can start forming this, is decide how you want to start this circle. And you don't have to hand do this, because like I said, a lot of people have, and this is it, I mean, it does hurt your hands a little bit, but you don't have to make the circle so small. You can make it a little bit larger. See, you don't have to have it so small to where it like hurts your hands like that. You can make it a little smaller, or you know, You can make that circle bigger. You just have to close it in so that it's closed in like this. See, it's closed in like that. You can hand stitch it. Like I said, you could hand stitch it, but again, for those that hand stitching is just not an option. The other option is still being able to do it this way. You just kind of fold it under there. Make sure your braid is flat. Okay? Now mind you, this is just a domestic machine. There's nothing special about it. I'm not changing the foot. I just kind of stick it under there where the two pieces meet. I put my setting on zigzag and just kind of go back and forth. All you're doing is wanting to attach it to itself. Okay? That's all you're wanting to do, is to attach it to itself. And I've got to put my feet down. Press the foot down, or whatever you know. So it has issues. Okay. But I don't care because it's attached. Nobody's seen that happen, right? Okay. That's all you're doing. Forget what you just saw. No, make sure you put your presser foot down. That's what causes that, or it causes that. But all you're doing is wanting to attach it. So it's attached. Then you could go around. And again, this can be done by hand sewing. There is another way to do this, but you're doing it as you're braiding. And that is putting pins on the end of all of these. And when you come up, instead of just continuing braiding, your last braid will go through this one. That is not my preference, because what I found doing that, this braid is not as snug, and it has a tendency to, after a couple of washings, it starts separating. Like it just starts separating. So to me, it's not as secure, but you can do it that way. But you just turn and zig. Like I said, you could hand sew this, or you can pull the one of the tails. When you come across to the fourth one, you could pull the tail, and it'll go down and continue on. But again, it takes a lot more than just, because see, now our rug's turning like this. And you could just take a little tack stitch and tack it. You know, we're not talking continuing sewing. We're just talking tacking sections of it. That's why it's easy to hand sew this, because you're not talking completely sewing it. You're just kind of tacking it. And if you've ever looked at, like, sometimes you find them, if you don't have one, sometimes you'll find them at like the secondhand stores. You'll find a rag rug, and you'll see it, and it will be just tacked in sections. It's not completely solid, unless you want it completely solid. But let me switch my camera again. I hope that everybody was able to understand how that beginning of that that rug starts. The thing of it is with these braided rugs, the advantage is you could bring strings with you. Like if you're going to a doctor appointment, you know, most people are now creating little bags. Put your strings, and they don't have to be very long. They could be kind of short, and just put them in your bag. Then when you were out there in the waiting room, you could actually braid, and you're basically making a braided cord, and that's all. Then you can either stitch it together right there, or then when you get home, you have a big long braid. And it's basically stuff that takes up time while you're waiting for stuff, or just get your mind focused on something that doesn't require very much, just relaxing stuff, just uh, mindless type of thing, kind of like sewing little squares together. It's just mindless, one right after the other, right after the other. So hopefully that was able to help anybody. If that didn't help, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try to explain it a little differently. I'm just not sure that but I can try explain it if that didn't make any sense. And for those wanted to understand how to do it, that's how I do it. That may not be that may not be how someone else does it, but that's just how I do it. But that's how I've had to learn, because my hands are kind of numb. It's not something that you have to do overnight. It could be easy. You could just do it for a couple minutes, just braid, and you don't necessarily have to sew it together. You could just make a big long braid, and then when you get it long enough, you could start turning it. Or they work great for just make a big long braid. And I don't have my key. Oh, yes I do. Okay, here's an example of what the cord could actually do. This is a can, just a regular can, and I use it to store my my marking. These are just colored pencils, art pencils. They're actually art pencils for drawing. But I'm also making a braid because I'm gonna braid it around this. And I thought I had my other one that I did already, and I'm just wrapping it just so it looks, I mean, the tin can looks cool. I just like the looks of the silver, the chrome looking stuff. I don't even know what this is from. It's fairly old, and I did take all there's no sharp edges on it. I made sure that because I didn't want to get cut. But these cans, they make great for storing stuff in. Like, this is the perfect thing to store stuff in, and it just keeps everything compact. And the only thing that's bad is when it falls over and it goes plunk on the floor. So again, I hope everybody has all those positive vibes out there, and I'm going to try to catch more in a live chat. It's sometimes hard for me to catch everybody. I'm like, oh man, I missed them. So I go back and watch all the rewatch them, and that works too. So again, everybody, hit the like and subscribe, and thank you everybody again for watching my videos. Bye bye.